Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Talk Show. Yes, we are here on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, but I showed up this week. I had a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but I just wanted to come in here just for a hot second, just to share what we were able to talk about, our conversations through the Slay Your Signature Style Masterclass last night. So if you weren't there, you missed out. All right. I'll give you somewhat of a brief synopsis and we'll kind of talk through going beyond your signature style. So welcome on in. Welcome on in. My name is Rochelle Slay, or Slay Queen, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I am a personal brand strategist, a 5-time author, a transformational speaker, a certified image consultant, as well as a proud United States Air Force veteran serving 30 years. And so I have turned, if you will, into creating a brand that attracts. And so that's what we're going to be speaking to. And one of the parts of that is having a signature style, and not only having it, slaying your signature style. So slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym for the framework, the method for which we are building these brands, so that way we are seen, heard, and chosen, and we're positioned appropriately, okay? Positioned for the opportunities that we want in this next season, if you will, and that is strategic identity, leadership presence, aesthetic authority, and your narrative power. So as you come on in, let me know where you're coming in from. Give us your name. I'll give you a shout out and all the things, but you decided to spend a little time with us because today, I just want to talk about going beyond your signature style just for a little bit. Now, let me just kind of set this tone. Last night, I presented a presentation about how you can start to slay your signature style and really think about it as being part of your brand. And, the women came in, they were hungry for information, and they were seeking a way to start on their journey. And, as I was talking, they were sharing, we were talking about how it went beyond the clothes, okay, beyond the fashion. Yes, we definitely need to figure this thing out. And I struggled, okay, when I transitioned, but realized that it has been able to carry me a long way because I'm being very intentional and purposeful of how I'm showing up. And that is clearly something that we need to do, is to show up. So how are we showing up, right? What is it that you're communicating? Because what our visual appearance is communicating a lot of things before we even say a word. And I knew for me, I have a big personality. Okay. I have lots of energy. I want people to feel that when they're interfacing with me and they're experiencing me. I want them to know that. I want to be approachable. I want to be lively. I want to feel young and fresh. Okay. I don't know any woman, and now I'm 54. Will be 54 in a few days. My birthday is next Tuesday. So on the Rise and Slay show next Tuesday, I'll be showing up for my birthday for sure. But I just really wanted to give this sense that I'm not done yet. Okay. I'm not done. And yes, it may be uncomfortable at first when you're putting yourself out there, but what can you actually gain? Okay. So let's just talk about it. Like I said, this is about communicating. You're communicating every time you step into a room, on stage, virtually or in person, going to a networking event, sitting on panels, being the keynote speaker, and all the things that we say we want to be able to do in this next. Now, I know those are the people that I spend a lot of time with, and I have been on a lot of stages. And so I'm picking up notes, I'm collecting data, I'm getting a sense of what planners are looking for. And right now, authenticity is getting the play, okay? Authenticity. And so when you can be authentic in your own self and you know who you are, what you stand for, and how you want to do it, the right people, the right rooms, the right opportunities fall into place. Okay. So we're going to take this conversation just a little bit further than what we had last night. And your image is just one part of this grand plan that we are creating, right? It is the one little piece that you can continue to work on and refine as you step into, picking out pieces and collections that you really want to wear, but you're scared to. That's probably what you need to do. All right. A lot of times we shy away from those types of pieces because we're like, it's too much. Well, okay. This part of what you're trying to do as an independent consultant, someone who's an entrepreneur starting out, you definitely need to stick out. Okay. Because you can blend in. There's so many people doing the same thing that are qualified just like you are. So what is the differentiator? Because you can look the part and still be overlooked. Okay. You can also have an impressive resume. I knew when I started out, I was working on my resume. I was getting drained and I said, no, I don't want to do that. That's not the direction I'm going to go into. And I still struggle to articulate what made me the obvious choice. I remember going to a networking event and one of my brothers in arms, Scott Abbey, he said, why you? Why you? You know what I mean? And that has really sat with me for all this time. Why should people pick me? All right. And you have to be able to tease that out. All right. And that's why the identity really comes into play. Like, who are you? What is your gift? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your vision? Because we can have 20, 30, 40 years of experience and still find ourselves wondering, how do I position all of what I have been able to build for what's next? Okay. And that's really where the real work comes in. That's where it starts. And sometimes people just don't want to do the real work. All right. And that's okay. All right. But who I am talking to is to any woman who has had a successful career, business, maybe even been in community leadership and decided, hey, I want to step away from that. And I want to pursue what I really, truly passionate, love, inspired to do. How can I make an impact on a bigger scale? Okay. Well, for what I know and how I've been able to position myself and others who have given me the privilege to partner with, we have created brands. Okay. Because we know us and we know it can work. And that's how you can accelerate your success in the areas that you're looking to go into. So, we talked about creating a signature style that reflects where we're going, not simply where we've been. And that distinction matters, especially for women who have spent years operating inside of these structured environments. If you've been in a highly conformed environment, and for me, it came out of the military, I wore a uniform. I knew how to wear my uniform. In fact, I knew how to make my uniform stand out amongst everybody else, even though we were wearing the same thing. Okay. I sewed my pockets down. I put on the bigger stripes. I ironed my uniform. I was like, yes, I'm going to separate myself. And so this distinction really matters. But what happens when that title, that position changes? What happens when you retire out of a long career? What happens when you leave the military? What happens when you move from the corporate ladder into entrepreneurship, into speaking, into consulting, into boards, or even executive leadership? You still have the experience, but now you have to intentionally communicate it. Intentionally. Intentionally means on purpose. I'm being very deliberate. All right. I got somebody make a comment. You are the brand. Yes, Jen. Hey, Queen, and welcome to the live Rise and Slay talk show. You know what I'm talking about, Queen. Okay. You are the expert in this area. We are the brand. if you let that sit with you for a minute, you start to come to some conclusion that you just can't be the main, stay or the staple inside the rooms that you're in. You have to go above and beyond. These things are what we know to be true. All right. Now, I'm not going to, sit here and give you a whole list of things that have happened to me or happened for me after I retired. Okay. But, I like to share a lot on my LinkedIn platform to give you an indication. I'm sharing you my journey. All right. Because if I could do it, it's possible for anyone else. And yes, Queen, those small changes make huge difference. It's a huge difference. All right. But we have to take this on for ourselves. All right. We are starting to look at everybody else. All right. We're doing these copy and pasting. I see it all the time. And we think we're going to get the same results. It's not going to happen. Okay. Because it's not you. So you need to figure out how you can do it in such a way where people take notice. Okay. And you're drawing the right attention and not just throwing stuff together. We're not winging it. Everything that I'm doing is on purpose. All right. I wore these earrings today. These are my birthday earrings from my sister in arms, Kim Pollard. I shared with you on LinkedIn. And she knew what I would wear and what my signature style is. She knows my brand. Okay. She is connected to the brand. I had this top already. All right. They got the pink flowers in it. Matches perfectly. All right. So these things are possible for us. We just got to be in tune and we've got to make a plan. Good morning, Queen, and happy Wednesday. I know usually I'm here on Tuesdays, but today I just wanted to share about the Slay Your Signature Masterclass and then be able to share like exactly how this is going to be possible for you. Of course. Yes, Queen. When you go 200%, you meet at least 100%. Listen, where's my clapper at? Okay. When you go 200%, you meet 100% at least. Okay. That is the goal. Intentionally. Regina, hey, how you doing, Queen? Welcome to the live Rise and Slay morning show on Wednesday. Okay, usually here on Tuesday, but today I wanted to share exactly what was going on in our Slay Your Signature Masterclass last night. Just a little bit about it. And you're taking it all in and being intentional about this, right? This is the opportunity for us to really think about what we're doing and is it working? Okay, we say we want all this stuff. I had people in my the women in the masterclass last night saying they want more speaking engagements. They want to be able to really take control of their next career. They wanted to be able to go into the right opportunities. But I'm like, okay, so what is the action? Right. And Jen, you're right. Right. Your image is the most valuable asset, especially since AI can generate unlimited images. AI is trying to take over, but AI is not showing the authenticity. These are canned images that they're taken from all over the place. But when you show up in person, are you going to be the same? All right, my personality, the way I am right now, you definitely going to see it in person. And I love the fact that I'm able to do that on my own based on my own experiences, my expertise, my skill set, and how I've been able to accomplish what I've been able to do. And thank you so much, Queen. Listen, she got these things. She on point with these earrings. All right. It is summertime. It is bold. It is authentic. These are everything to me. So thank you so much. I'll let her know because she did right by me. Okay. And so I created the Brand Boldly experience because I realized that many accomplished women leaders don't have an experience problem. Okay. They were sharing last night what they have done, where they've been, how they've been able to travel around the world, gain all this experience, met some incredible people, led all these teams, was, highly successful. All right. But what's happening? It's a positioning problem. Okay. This is not an experience. It's a positioning. Are you positioned to be a speaker? When I declared that I was a speaker, when I thought, okay, I needed like X amount of speaking engagements after I retired, I realized I spoke a lot while I was in service. In fact, Many people did not want to speak after me. They would make that comment all the time. Like, I don't want to go after her. All right. Like, I'll go before her. All right. Even my commander, that I served with at my last position, he would like, hey, I'm going to leave it up to you to close it out. Okay. And he would just pass it to me when typically it would be the commander that usually closes out. And I realized I had this gift. And so when I made a declaration, and I kind of went back and forth around it, and my headlines changed on LinkedIn. And I decided, hey, I'm going to put this on the front end. All right. And all the things that I have been able to do, I'm getting in front of the right people. I'm getting in front of the right people. And they're looking at it as, wow, this is something that we need. And so last night I made a promise to the women that were there, and I guarantee them, if you invest into the Brand Boldly program, I can guarantee you that people will say, she is exactly who we need. She is exactly who we need. Okay. Because we are going to create this plan, and it is about, and Jen is just giving us so much. Okay. And she is so, I love how you're giving. Okay. You're giving, Jen. Your image speaks for you. The first impression is the last impression. Absolutely. It's all about packaging, and the perception creates reality. And we talked about perception last night as well, because how you're being perceived is how people fit you. Okay. They're already trying to size you up and trying to figure out, are you the right person for the right opportunity? But you got to get yourself in the right rooms. You can't just be for everybody. I realize I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. Okay. But when we try to fit into places where we know we don't belong, you're going to start to feel frustrated, disappointed. You're going to feel like you're chasing things down, and you're going to have no energy. And I want to preserve my energy. So we've got to think about it. We have to be positioned, all right? Because you've done the work, you led the teams, you solved the problems, you built the organizations, you made decisions under pressure, you have the credentials, the relationships, the expertise, and all this other stuff. But all that experience is sitting inside of you without a clear brand strategy connecting the dots, all right? We are leaving breadcrumbs, all right? Everywhere we're going to say, hey, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and there's no confusion. All right, because sometimes we create a lot of confusion because we're trying to do all the things. I'm speaking from experience. This is something I have lived, and so I had to get very crystal clear on who I'm speaking to. All right, so the brand Boldly is designed to change all of this, where it's just very chaotic. Right, you are in alignment, you are focused on what you want, and you are taking the steps and the measures to get there. It's where we take everything you've already accomplished. Okay. So we're not trying to do extra stuff. We're not trying to pick up no more degrees and credentials and all this other stuff to make sure, all right, we already have it. And we're going to be strategically translating into a personal brand that communicates. Okay. So who you are, what you're known for, what you bring to the table, and why you should be the person people think of first. So last week I shared with you that I went to the Library of Congress, right? I met Jonathan Tennis a couple of times, and they were through networking events. So we really didn't have, like a full-blown conversation. But he said he looked on the LinkedIn post, and he's been following me for quite some time. And so when the head of the program said, hey, we need to find somebody who could come in and do this interview and then have media here and all the extra stuff, he says, I know a person. It was me, top of mind. Okay. People think of you first. I have several LinkedIn messages right now. This is what I want you to see that could be possible for you too. Okay. This can happen if you position yourself to where you're getting the results that you're looking for. People believe what they see. Absolutely. Jen Osboss said, do it like you dress it, for real, for real. Okay. And every impression compounds. Okay. Every time they see you, you're training the brain. Every time they see you, you're training the brain. They're like, I've seen this before. I'm not quite sure, can't put my finger on it. But then you show up again, they're like, Okay. This is why I took on the color pink, and you're going to see like all these combinations, right? Because it does something psychology about, someone showing up and you're like, I know that person. I remember that person. I'm not quite sure. But then they're like, oh, wait a minute. I do know this woman. All right. So we've got to, we're doing these things because we're serious, okay? And we're not playing any more games. And we have talked a big game about what we want and how we want it, but we are not actually doing it. And it is execution time. All right. We need to say what we want to do, and we need to start doing it, and not even think so much into it, because we're overthinking and now we're paralyzed and we're not quite sure what we want when we really know what we want. So the foundation of the work I do is through the SLAY method, right? And so let me put the SLAY method here on the banner so that way you can see this, all right? So strategic identity, okay? Who are you really becoming in this next season, all right? Your leadership presence, how do you show up, all right? And it's about authenticity, right? The way that you talk and the isms that you're using, all right, those are unique to you. I'm a little bit quirky, okay? There's some things my husband still says, you're just you're just like silly. I don't even know. Like some things I just do, and he just shakes his head. But that what makes me me. And we all have these nuances, right? So, we have to make sure we are understanding how we're going to show up. And our visual presentation should reinforce our authority. And your image should make sense. It should make sense. Okay, I am the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. When you hear the word slay, there is a vision, there is a picture of slay. Okay, that's what I am looking to get to. So, whatever that is, you have to embody. This is about embodiment. I embody my brand. All right. Action speaks volumes. Yes, Queen. It absolutely does. All day, every day. If you cannot, follow through on what you said that you were going to do, people don't trust what they're hearing. All right. They're just like, oh, okay, just another person talking. All right. And that's not what we want. We want to be in the selection pool. All right. Because they know that we are ambitious, that we're driven, that we're looking for opportunity. So you've got to put yourself out there. And then we all have a story, all right? But some of us be sharing way too much, all right? We share all of the things, all right? I can tell you all of the things, but I chose to be very selective because I want to make sure that I am controlling the narrative, all right? And but a lot of times we're not quite sure what that is. So the Brand Boldly experience is a transformational experience, all right? I want you to feel like you own your power. I want you to I want you to go in thinking I own the room. Okay? I already got an opportunity. I need to just get into the space. All right? That is the experience that you're going to have. Like, it's all through phased approach. Um we're not creating a fake version of ourselves. We're not reinventing ourselves, but we need to update. Okay. We need to stay relevant. All right. Sometimes we just think, oh, well, I'm sitting in a space, and so I'm there and people are just going to automatically select me. That's not how this works anymore. That's not how it works. Okay. And so you have to be able to get into position. So in the Boldly experience, we go from experience to position, from accomplished to recognized, from credible to influential, from qualified to opportunity ready, and ultimately from overlooked to obvious choice. All right. And this is definitely a phase approach. I love Jen because Jen was just speaking about this at her masterclass that I attended last week. And she talked through about how, you go through a phase and then you don't move to the next phase until you actually complete that phase, and then so forth and so on. All right. And if you're not following Jen, I need you to, like, right now, especially if you're an image consultant or someone who is looking to improve how they show up. She is the expert. Okay. I follow her, and it's just absolutely phenomenal on what she's been able to build. So, the time is now. Okay. This is what Jen is saying. The time is now. What are you waiting for? I don't know. For somebody to give you permission to fully show up? Well, time will be passing by, and tomorrow is not promised to anybody. I'm in that legacy phase right now where I'm thinking, okay, I need to make sure every action that I'm taking is leading to me to what I said I want to be known for. So here's a challenge for you. I want you just to do this either today or within the next few days. Really take a look at yourself. All right. Let's not even look in the closet yet. All right. Because you got to be dealing with you. I want you to ask yourself, like, what do people immediately understand about me? All right. What do people immediately understand about me? Okay. Because you can buy all the clothes and still not really show up and be credible and influential. All right. I see it all the time. All right. So this is your chapter to get it right. Okay. This is your chapter to get it right. Okay. So Glenroy, hey, what's going on? Listen, I usually see you on Sunday night, and now you're here Wednesday night or morning. Okay. So love that you're here. Thank you so much for being here live with me this morning. He says, when we set an aura around our brand, around the experience that others have with us during interpersonal meetings and in communication, we set a specific notion about us in our professional spaces and within our networks. It's like having a signature scent. Ugh, this is like gold. Okay. If you haven't met Glenroy, all right, and all the things, just so much added value. This is so true. Okay. It's an aura, it's an essence, it's a feeling, it's an experience. Those are the people that we are asked to come back over and over again. So, what does that look like for you? And Jen says the only permission you need is from yourself. We just don't want to give it to ourselves. We regret the things we didn't do. The worst thing is being in the same place knowing it is not the right place. And that's what one of the women were saying last night in the masterclass. She was just saying, like, I'm going to all these places, but I gets nothing. Well, you're not in the right places, okay? Or your brand needs some updating and it needs to be relooked. So all this to say, all right, your experience matters, your leadership matters, your story matters, your image matters, and your brand absolutely matters. The goal isn't to be visible for the sake of being visible. Okay. The goal is to become recognized for the right things by the right people at the right time. All right. And last night's conversation again was so good. And then we spoke to the Brand Boldly program and, how it is a phased approach. And, the offer is out there till August 21st. And so once August 21st closes out, the program closes out. So I will leave, let's see here, what I got here. I think I've got my QR scan code here. And you can actually go to this QR scan code and you can look to see all the Slate to Success resources. But you'll see a Brand Boldly audit, which is complimentary. And then you'll see the Brand Boldly experience and the details to that too. Because again, if you're looking to get into this space where you're wanting to really showcase your brand and use your brand and leverage your brand as a means to get to where you're trying to go, this is it. And like Jen said, the time is now. All right. So I want to thank my guests for being here tonight. Okay. So we had, of course, Jen, Regina, Glenroy, Chevy. Thank y'all for being here live with me. And please share this out with folks that will need this. And Jen said, knowing and doing are different. Get in action. Okay. Get in action. And it was a great masterclass. Thank you, Queen. It absolutely was. If you missed it, you missed it. And hopefully you can attend the next one that comes up in the future. But until then, I want you all to keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye. Have a great Wednesday.